The story begins with the host of the dating show noticing something peculiar on Liu Cheng's phone. While he fiddled with the device during a break in filming, she couldn't help but spot the photo he used as his wallpaper. A selfie of a smiling girl, posing with a confident look. Curious, the host asked who the young woman in the picture was. Liu Cheng replied without hesitation that it was his sister-in-law. The host frowned, intrigued. She knew from the show's background information that Liu Cheng didn't have a sister. So how could he have a sister-in-law? Under her insistent gaze, Liu Cheng eventually gave in to the pressure and admitted that yes, the girl in the photo was indeed his sister-in-law, the wife of his older brother. He added, with a smug smile, that she also used a photo of him as her phone's wallpaper because she thought he was more handsome than her own husband. The host was stunned by this unexpected revelation. It was too bizarre to ignore, and she decided she needed to dig deeper into this story. Liu Cheng, 28 years old, was an ordinary-looking man with a confidence that stood out. He worked as a hydroelectric engineer at a construction site, earning around 8,000 yuan a month, a decent income, but nothing extraordinary. Yet, during the show, he couldn't stop boasting that he owned 6 or 7 properties in the urban area of Chongqing, a city known for its rapid growth and booming real estate market. According to Liu Cheng, all these houses had been bought by his older brother, a successful construction businessman who supposedly earned 1 million yuan a month. Liu Cheng insisted that the property titles were in his name, a generous gift from his brother, and that this allowed him to live a comfortable life without major financial worries. He spoke with a tone of pride, as if his wealth reflected his own merit, even though he admitted it all came from his brother's efforts. The host, however, began to notice cracks in this narrative when Liu Cheng's brother appeared on the show. He had been invited as a surprise, but his arrival was anything but warm. The older man, visibly impatient, seemed unaware that Liu Cheng was participating in a dating show. From the moment he stepped out of the car, his behavior was rude and disrespectful. He used harsh words with the female contestants, ignored the host's attempts to create a friendly atmosphere, and at one point abruptly walked off, leaving everyone in an awkward silence. His attitude was a stark contrast to the image of a generous and caring brother that Liu Cheng described with such enthusiasm. The host couldn't help but wonder, if this man was so successful and close to Liu Cheng, why did he seem so distant and indifferent? Meanwhile, Liu Cheng didn't appear fazed by his brother's coldness. He kept talking about his numerous properties and stable income, as if nothing could shake his story. But the contestants, smart, observant women looking for a partner on the show, began to grow suspicious. Something didn't add up. When one of them asked if he could show photos of the houses he claimed to own, Liu Cheng hesitated. He fumbled with his phone for a moment, as if searching for something, then offered an excuse. The photos were on another device, and the keys to the properties were with his father, who couldn't answer the phone because he was working. The host suggested that the crew verify his story, but Liu Cheng just smiled, saying everything could be sorted out later. Things got even murkier when Liu Cheng offered to take the crew and contestants to visit one of his supposed properties. The host, curious and a bit skeptical, agreed to the idea. However, halfway there, Liu Cheng changed the plan. He said they needed to stop by his mother's house to pick up the key. The host started to lose patience with all this disorganization, and the contestants exchanged doubtful glances. When they arrived at the address Liu Cheng gave as his mother's house, they learned she wasn't in Shanghai, as he had casually mentioned earlier, but in Chongqing working. His mother wasn't home, and when Liu Cheng called her, the conversation was short and confusing. From the tone, it seemed she had no idea where these alleged keys were. Inside his mother's house, reality began to unfold. It was a small one-bedroom apartment with a living room, the balcony makeshiftly turned into a second bedroom, and the sofa showing clear signs of constant use, crumpled cushions, a blanket tossed carelessly. Liu Cheng kept talking about his many properties, but the contestants no longer hid their disbelief. One of them asked, sharply, why he didn't have the key to the house he supposedly lived in. Another wanted to know why his parents and grandmother lived in such a cramped space, if he really owned so many properties. Liu Cheng dodged the questions, saying his family preferred a simple life, but his words rang increasingly hollow. That's when the host noticed the wallpaper on Liu Cheng's phone again. She asked once more about the girl in the photo, just to test his consistency. This time, Liu Cheng said it was his sister. The host cut him off immediately. But you don't have a sister. Under pressure, he laughed, a bit nervously, and reverted to his original story. It was his sister-in-law. The host, now more intrigued than ever, asked if his brother knew about this. Liu Cheng, with a glint of pride in his eyes, repeated that his sister-in-law used his photo on her phone because she found him more handsome than her husband. The host decided to push further and asked for the sister-in-law's contact to confirm the story. Liu Cheng hesitated again, saying he didn't have her phone number or WeChat, but then threw in a new twist. He claimed his brother had sent him the photo. Determined to get to the bottom of it, the host called Liu Cheng's brother. He answered with an irritated tone and denied knowing anything about the photo. When the host described the image and sent it to him, the brother fell silent for a few seconds before stating firmly that he didn't know the girl and had never sent that photo to Liu Cheng. His reaction was a bombshell, exposing the inconsistencies in Liu Cheng's tale. Yet, surprisingly, Liu Cheng remained calm. He denied lying, insisted his brother was the one being dishonest, and accused him of always treating him poorly. According to Liu Cheng, his brother was jealous and did everything to undermine him. By the end of the show, the contestants were visibly disappointed. They concluded that Liu Cheng was someone who liked to brag and didn't seem genuine. The host reflected aloud. If Liu Cheng had been honest from the start, he might have shown a more human and authentic side. He could even be a good person, but he didn't seem to grasp that trust and feelings aren't built on exaggerations or lies. In the end, the truth always comes out, and his stories couldn't withstand scrutiny. As for the main contestant, who went on the blind date with Liu Cheng, she left a striking impression, but not a particularly positive one. From the beginning, she showed an exaggerated interest in his properties and income. She asked detailed questions. How many bedrooms did the houses have? Which neighborhoods were they in? How much was he willing to spend on his future wife? When Liu Cheng started talking about his many properties and promised to give money and a house to whoever married him, her eyes lit up in a way that left no doubt. Money was what truly drove her. The host noticed this shift in demeanor and grew pensive. It was understandable that someone might seek stability, but the contestant's excitement felt shallow, focused solely on possessions rather than the person. As the contradictions in Liu Cheng's stories surfaced, her interest faded as quickly as it had appeared. She barely hid her disappointment, and her attitude shifted entirely, from warm smiles to indifferent glances. It became clear that for her, a partner's worth was tied directly to what he could offer materially, not to his character or emotional compatibility. The host, observing all this, reflected on how some people prioritize status and financial security over genuine connections. It wasn't wrong to want comfort, but ignoring who Liu Cheng really was, flaws and all, revealed a narrow view of what it means to love someone. In the end, Liu Cheng's story and the contestant's behavior became a double lesson. He, with his lies and exaggerations, showed how appearances can deceive. She, with her pursuit of wealth, revealed how material interests can overshadow the chance for something real. The host wrapped up the show with a final thought. Both Liu Cheng and the contestant had their flaws, but they shared an inability to value sincerity. He, by inventing a life he didn't have, and she, by seeking a partner only for what he could provide. In love, she concluded, what matters isn't what you flaunt or what you gain, but what you build together, with honesty and an open heart.